John had a long day at work. His office was noisy, full of papers and people shouting. He was tired, hungry, and just wanted to go home, eat something, and rest. As he opened the door of his small apartment, he noticed something strange. Kitchen light was on. That was odd because he always turned it off before leaving in the morning. He frowned. "Did I forget to turn it off?" he muttered. He stepped inside slowly. The house smelled slightly different, a kind of strange, sweet smell he couldn't recognize. He shrugged and thought maybe it was the food he left in the fridge as he walked towards the kitchen. He heard a soft sound, almost like a small whimper. He stopped. His heart started beating faster. He looked around. The kitchen was empty. Or so it seemed. Then he saw it. Behind the fridge, small and trembling, was a girl, but she wasn't human. Her skin was pale blue, almost glowing slightly in the dim light. Her eyes were bigger than a human child's eyes and sparkled like tiny stars. She had long, thin fingers and hair that looked like silver threads. John froze. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "What? What are you?" he whispered. The girl didn't answer. She just looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. She was trying to speak, but John had no idea what she was saying. He wanted to step back, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. "Are you hurt? Are you lost?" he asked slowly, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. The alien girl didn't move. She just tilted her head slightly, studying him. John noticed she was very small, maybe the size of a 10-year-old human child. But there was something in her eyes that told him she was smart, much smarter than a normal child. John slowly took a step forward and reached out his hand. The girl flinched but didn't run. She seemed scared, but she also seemed curious. John felt a strange feeling in his chest, a mix of fear, wonder, and responsibility. Who was she? Where did she come from? He thought about calling someone, the police maybe, but then he stopped. What would he tell them? "Hi, there is a glowing alien girl in my kitchen." He laughed nervously at the thought. No one would believe him. He realized he had to handle this on his own, at least for now. Okay, he said softly. "I won't hurt you. I just want to help." The alien girl slowly took a step forward, her glowing eyes fixed on him. Then, very carefully, she reached out her small hand. John's heart skipped a beat. He could see that she trusted him, just a little. He gently took her hand. It was cold, but soft. He could feel her tiny heartbeat, fast and nervous. He knelt down to her level. "Are you hungry?" he asked. She nodded slightly, her eyes shining even more. John smiled. "All right, let's get you some food." As he opened the fridge, he realized something else. She wasn't just strange, she seemed very intelligent. She pointed at different foods, looking as if she was trying to tell him something. He gave her a small piece of bread, and she took it carefully with both hands. She ate slowly, like she had never eaten before. While she ate, John looked around the kitchen thinking, how did she get here? Did someone put her in his apartment? Was she lost from somewhere else? Maybe another planet? His mind was full of questions, and each question made him more anxious. Suddenly, a loud bang came from outside the apartment window. Both John and the alien girl jumped. She hid behind his leg, trembling. John looked outside, but saw nothing, just the empty street and the quiet night. He felt a shiver run down his spine. Something was not right. The girl peeked out from behind him. Her glowing eyes scanned the room as if she was looking for danger. John realized that she must have been running from something or someone. He had no idea what. He sat down slowly on the kitchen floor, keeping his hand on hers. "Don't worry," he whispered. "I will keep you safe. For now." The alien girl looked at him, and, for the first time, a tiny smile appeared on her lips. But John noticed something strange. Her eyes glowed brighter for a moment, almost like a warning. He didn't understand it, but he knew one thing. This was just the beginning. Outside, the wind blew softly, and the city seemed calm. But in that quiet apartment, John knew that his life was about to change forever. Something incredibly dangerous had just entered his life. Next morning, John woke up feeling tired but uneasy. The alien girl was still in his kitchen, sleeping quietly on a small mat he had set up. Her small chest rose and fell slowly, and her silver hair shimmered faintly in the morning light. John stared at her for a moment. He had never seen anything like this in his life. He remembered the glowing eyes, the strange powers she might have, and the feeling that she was somehow more than a child. But for now, she seemed fragile and scared. John knew he had to be careful. One wrong move could frighten her, or worse, make her run. After breakfast, he decided to try talking to her. "Hey, can you understand me?" he asked softly. The alien girl blinked slowly. She didn't answer, but her head tilted as if trying to understand. She made small gestures with her hands, moving them in strange patterns. John watched carefully. Maybe she was trying to communicate. He decided to show her a picture from his phone, just a simple drawing of a human house and people. The girl's eyes widened. She pointed at the house and then at herself. Then she pointed at John. Slowly, John realized she was trying to tell him that she was from somewhere else and that she needed help. He smiled gently. "Okay, I understand. You need help?" he said. She nodded slightly, looking relieved but still nervous. John wanted to make her feel safe. He walked to the fridge and brought out some fruits. "Do you like this?" he asked. She looked at the bright colors with curiosity and reached out with both hands. She tasted them carefully and gave a small, almost happy hum. John laughed quietly. 'Twas the first sound she had made that seemed friendly. While she ate, John tried to figure out how she got into his apartment. No windows were broken, no doors forced open. She hadn't used anything human to enter. That made him think maybe she didn't arrive here by accident. Maybe someone sent her. The thought made his chest tighten. The alien girl finished the fruit and looked at John. She then grabbed a small notebook he had on the table and drew a symbol in unfamiliar shape, glowing faintly as if alive. John stared at it. He didn't recognize it, but the glow made him shiver. Whatever this symbol meant, it was important. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside, the sound of metal scraping against metal. Both John and the alien girl froze. She hid behind him. Again, trembling. John looked through the window, but saw nothing. The street was empty, quiet, but he could feel that danger was near. He knelt down to her level. "It's okay. I'm here. No one will hurt you," he whispered. She peeked out from behind him, eyes wide, glowing faintly. John noticed she was alert, as if she could sense things he couldn't. To break the tension, he decided to show her something simple. He grabbed a small toy car from the shelf and rolled it across the floor. The alien girl's eyes lit up. She reached out, touched it, and made it move with her fingers. To John's surprise, the car moved faster than he pushed. She giggled softly, sound like wind chimes. John realized she was learning quickly. She wasn't just a frightened child, she was clever, strong, and probably very powerful. But he also saw her innocence. She didn't want to hurt anyone. She just wanted to survive. Then something strange happened. The small gadget she had, pulled out from her pocket yesterday, started glowing faintly. John saw holographic lights flicker, forming tiny shapes in the air. The alien girl's eyes widened. She touched the lights with her fingers, tracing patterns that looked like a map. John gasped. She wasn't just lost, she had a mission. The sound of footsteps echoed outside the apartment. John froze. The alien girl looked at him, her small hand gripping his sleeve tightly. He whispered, "Hide." Quickly. They both crouched behind the table. The footsteps grew louder, closer, and then stopped. Silence. John peeked carefully. The hallway was empty. No one was there. But he knew it wouldn't stay that way for long. Whoever or whatever was looking for her would not give up easily. The alien girl slowly peeked out from behind him. Her glowing eyes met his, and for the first time he felt a deep connection. She trusted him. And in that trust, John found something unexpected: a responsibility, a purpose. He took a deep breath. "All right," he whispered. "We'll figure this out together." Outside, the city continued its quiet morning life. But inside John's apartment, a small blue alien girl and a human man began a story that would change both their lives forever. And John knew one thing for sure: the danger was far from over. Asterisk. The day passed slowly, but John could not stop thinking about the alien girl. She sat quietly on the floor, playing with a small gadget she had pulled from her pocket again. Tiny lights flickered across its surface, forming shapes that seemed alive. John knelt beside her, trying to understand. "You came from somewhere else, right?" he asked softly. She looked at him and nodded. Then, in a sudden movement, she grabbed a small notebook from her bag and started drawing shapes, symbols, and strange lines. John frowned. He had no idea what they meant. After a few minutes, she pointed to a drawing: a small spaceship, unlike anything John had ever seen. Then she pointed at herself, and then at the drawing again. Slowly, John realized the truth. She had come from another planet. His mind raced. You're an alien?" he whispered. She nodded again, her glowing eyes wide with fear. Then she made a motion, pointing to the window and looking worried. John understood her captors, whoever they were. This could be close. The alien girl showed him another drawing: a strange city, full of tall towers and glowing lights. She pointed to a figure being chased. John's heart tightened. She had escaped from something dangerous, something powerful. She had left her home world to find safety on Earth. John took a deep breath. He had to act carefully. If someone came looking for her, they could be very strong. He had no idea what he was dealing with. But he also felt a strange determination. He could not let her be taken. Not now, not ever. As he looked at her, he noticed small details he had missed before. Her fingers moved with precision. Her eyes followed things faster than human eyes could, and sometimes her small body seemed to shimmer slightly, as if energy ran beneath her skin. She wasn't just a frightened child. She was special. To make her feel safe, John decided to show her his home. "This is your place for now," he said gently. She looked around with cautious curiosity. He showed her the couch, the kitchen, and a small bedroom he had cleaned. She nodded slowly, a small smile appearing for the first time. Then, suddenly, a noise outside made them both jump. It sounded like metal scraping against concrete, sharp and deliberate. The alien girl's eyes glowed brightly. She clutched John's sleeve tightly. He whispered, "Stay calm. We'll hide." John grabbed a small blanket and covered her with it, hiding her behind the couch. He peeked through the window. Nothing. But he knew better. Whoever was looking for her was clever. They would not give up. The alien girl started drawing again. This time, she drew a small device that looked like a beacon. She pointed at it and then at the window, as if to say someone could be tracking her. John realized she was warning him. She was not helpless. She had tools and knowledge, but she needed guidance. He nodded. "I understand. We have to be careful. We can't let them find you." The alien girl looked at him with trust. For the first time, John felt a real connection. She was counting on him, and he could not fail her. The day turned into evening, and the city lights flickered outside. John and the alien girl sat in silence, thinking about what might come next. He didn't know who her captors were, or why they wanted her, or how powerful they might be. But he knew one thing. She was not just an alien child. She was a survivor, clever and brave, and she had a story that needed to be told. Suddenly, the small gadget in her hands lit up brighter than before, projecting tiny holographic shapes into the air. The alien girl's eyes widened. She pointed at one of the shapes, and then at John. It was clear she wanted him to understand. These were not just drawings, they were messages, instructions, a plan. John realized the weight of the situation. He had stepped into something much bigger than himself. But he also knew he could not turn back. Not when she needed him. Not when her life depended on it. He reached out and held her small hands gently. "We'll face this together," he whispered. The alien girl nodded, a small glow of determination in her eyes. The bond between them had grown stronger in just one day. Outside, the city remained quiet, but John could feel the tension in the air. Something was coming, something dangerous, and he knew that soon his peaceful life would be completely changed. But he was ready. For the alien girl, he would face anything. Asterisk evening fell over the city, and the lights from the windows painted the apartment walls in soft orange and yellow. John sat on the floor, watching the alien girl carefully. She was no longer just a frightened child. She was slowly becoming comfortable in his presence. To break the tension, John tried something simple. He picked up a small ball from the shelf and rolled it gently toward her. The alien girl's eyes lit up. She stretched out her tiny hands, and the ball rolled back faster than he had expected. John laughed softly. "Wow, you are fast," he said. She giggled a soft musical sound that seemed almost magical. John noticed that her glowing eyes dimmed slightly when she laughed. It was a small sign, but it showed that she was beginning to trust him. He realized that bonding with her might be the key to keeping her safe. For the next few hours, John taught her simple things about Earth. How to use utensils, how to open doors, and even small words like hello and friend. She learned, quickly repeating the words with a high-pitched tone, almost like singing. John found it fascinating how intelligent and adaptable she was. But while the bonding continued, the danger outside was growing. John heard a faint hum in the distance, almost like a low vibration. He froze. The alien girl noticed it too, her eyes glowing brighter. She hid behind his legs, clutching them tightly. John knew the sound wasn't normal. It was the captors approaching. He whispered, "We need to hide, now." The alien girl nodded, her small hands gripping his sleeve. John guided her to a small closet in the corner of the apartment. It was tight, dark, and cramped, but it would keep them out of sight. From the closet, they could hear soft footsteps outside. Someone or something was searching. The alien girl peeked through a small crack, her glowing eyes scanning the room. John could see the fear in her face, but also determination. She wanted to survive, and she trusted him to help her. Suddenly, the alien girl reached into her pocket and pulled out a tiny device. She pressed a small button, and a faint shield appeared around them, invisible to the human eye, but strong enough to hide them. John's eyes widened in surprise. You have powers," he whispered. The alien girl nodded. She couldn't speak, but her expression said it all. John realized that her powers were not dangerous by themselves. They were defensive, clever, and precise. But they could be very powerful if used in the wrong way. The footsteps stopped outside their door. There was silence. Then a shadow passed by the window. The alien girl's eyes glowed brighter again. She whispered something softly in her language, and John felt a shiver run down his spine. He didn't understand the words, but the tone was. Serious danger was near, and it was getting closer. John reached out and held her small hand. "Don't worry, we will get through this," he said. She squeezed his hand tightly. In that moment, he realized something important. She was not just an alien girl in need of protection. She was a friend, a partner, and perhaps even family. After a few tense minutes, the footsteps faded away. John slowly guided the alien girl out of the closet. "It's okay," he whispered. "They are gone, for now." She nodded, but her glowing eyes scanned the room carefully, showing that she had learned to be cautious. They sat together quietly, bonding in a way that went beyond words. John felt a new sense of responsibility. This small, strange alien girl had entered his life unexpectedly, but now he could not imagine living without her. She had trust in him, and he could not betray that trust. As the night deepened, the alien girl placed her small hand on John's chest. Her eyes glowed softly, almost like she was trying to communicate something important. John looked at her, sensing a message he could not yet understand. Outside, the city remained calm. But John knew it was only a matter of time before the captors returned. The alien girl's powers and intelligence made her capable of defending herself, but she still needed him. And John, despite being human and ordinary, realized that he was willing to do anything to keep her safe. The bond between them had grown stronger in just one evening. But the danger was not over. And John understood that the coming days would test both of them in ways he could never have imagined. And as they sat together in the dimly lit apartment, a quiet determination filled the room. Together, they would face whatever was coming. Together, they would survive. Asterisk. The next morning, John woke up early. The alien girl was already awake, sitting quietly on the small mat he had made for her. Her glowing eyes scanned the apartment carefully, as if she could sense things he could not. John realized she had learned quickly. Danger was always near. He made her some breakfast and gave her a small piece of bread. She ate slowly, carefully, her eyes never leaving him. After she finished, she reached into her pocket and pulled out her tiny gadget. Lights flickered across its surface, forming patterns John had never seen. She pointed to the window, then back at herself, then at John. John took a deep breath. He knew it was time to make a plan. They could not stay in the apartment forever. Whoever was looking for her would find them eventually. They needed a safe place, and fast. He knelt down in front of her. "We need to leave this place." "But we have to be smart," he whispered. The alien girl nodded, her glowing eyes showing determination. She had trusted him so far, and he could not let her down now. John started thinking about all the places they could hide. The city was crowded, but there were abandoned buildings and quiet streets. He also remembered a small storage unit near the river that was rarely used. It could be their temporary hideout. The alien girl drew a small map on her notebook, showing him the safest route. She pointed at streets, rooftops, and small alleys. John realized she had studied the city carefully. Her intelligence was incredible. Together, they began to plan their escape. They waited until nightfall. The city lights twinkled outside, and most people were asleep. John carefully packed a small bag with essentials, water, food, and some of her gadgets. The alien girl watched him silently, then handed him a small, glowing device. He didn't know what it did, but he trusted her instincts. They left the apartment quietly. John held her hand tightly as they crept down the hallway and into the empty streets. The alien girl led the way, moving swiftly and silently. John followed, amazed at how agile and aware she was. Suddenly, A noise behind them made John freeze. He peeked back, nothing. But he knew the captors could be closer than they appeared. The alien girl stopped and touched a small device in her pocket. A faint shield appeared around them, hiding their presence. John marveled at her powers. They were clever and precise, designed for protection, not harm. As they moved through the streets, they encountered a few humans. John worried they might see her glowing eyes, but she stayed low and careful. Together, they reached the storage unit near the river. It was dark and quiet, just as he remembered. They slipped inside and locked the door behind them. Inside, they had a small space to rest and regroup. The alien girl touched her gadget, projecting a holographic map of the city. She pointed to several point-safe zones, escape routes, and areas to avoid. John realized she had been planning this even before they left the apartment. Her intelligence and quick thinking were extraordinary. "We'll be safe here for now," John said. "But we can't stay too long." The alien girl nodded, understanding perfectly. She had escaped once already, and she knew danger could follow. John sat down beside her. "I don't know what's coming next, but I promise I will protect you." She placed her small hand on his shoulder, a silent gesture of trust. John felt a mix of fear and determination. He was human, ordinary, and untrained, but he knew one thing: he would face anything to keep her safe. Outside, the city was quiet, but the night carried a sense of tension. The captors were out there, searching. John and the alien girl had managed to escape, but the danger was far from over. Inside the storage unit, they planned their next moves. The alien girl drew more symbols, showing him how to use some of her gadgets. They would need every advantage to survive. John realized that he was not just protecting her physically, he was learning to think like her, to anticipate threats and to act quickly. As dawn approached, John and the alien girl sat in silence, watching the first light of morning. Their escape had worked, but it had also shown them how dangerous the world outside was. Together, they had survived the night. Together, they would face whatever came next. John took her hand again, holding it tightly. "We're ready," he whispered. The alien girl nodded, her glowing eyes shining with a mix of hope and determination. And for the first time, John felt a small spark of confidence. They had a plan, and they had each other. But he knew one thing for certain: the captors would not stop. The real challenge was just beginning. The night was dark and quiet, but John could feel the tension in the air. He and the alien girl were hiding in the storage unit near the river, but he knew it was only a matter of time before the captors found them. The city outside was silent, but he could almost sense eyes watching from the shadows. The alien girl sat beside him, her glowing eyes scanning the area constantly. Her small fingers moved over her gadget, creating faint holographic lights in the air. She was preparing, planning, and John realized she had been training for this her entire life. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed outside. The metal door of the storage unit shuddered. John's heart raced. The captors had arrived. The alien girl grabbed his hand, her grip tight and urgent. "Stay calm," he whispered. She nodded, her glowing eyes filled with determination and fear at the same time. Through the small window of the storage unit, John saw them. Tall, armored figures, moving silently yet menacingly. Their faces were hidden behind helmets, but their presence radiated danger. He had no weapons, no training, but he had to protect her. The alien girl pressed a small button on her gadget. A faint, shimmering shield appeared around them, hiding their presence. She pointed at John and made a small motion she wanted him to move with her. John understood. They had to be smart, not just strong. They slipped out of the storage unit from a small side door the alien girl had discovered. The captors didn't see them. They moved quickly, using narrow alleys and shadows to avoid detection. John marveled at her agility and intelligence. She led him through the maze of streets as if she had done this hundreds of times. But then a shadow moved across the wall ahead. One of the captors had spotted them. John froze. The alien girl touched her gadget, and a small holographic decoy appeared, creating an illusion of them in another alley. The captor ran toward the decoy, leaving John and the alien girl free. For now, they ran faster, their footsteps echoing softly in the empty streets. John realized that this was more than just an escape, it was a confrontation. The alien girl had powers, yes, but she needed his help. And he was ready to give it. They reached an abandoned building with broken windows and empty rooms. John helped the alien girl inside. She immediately activated a protective shield around the area. And the holographic maps from her gadget flickered in the air, showing the captors' positions. John realized she was guiding him, showing him where to move, where to hide. Suddenly, one of the captors entered the building. John felt a surge of fear, but he also felt determination. The alien girl whispered something in her language, and the holographic lights pointed to a small ventilation shaft. Without hesitation, they crawled inside. The shaft was narrow, dark, and tense. John could hear the captors searching below. The alien girl's glowing eyes guided him through every turn and twist. He realized she trusted him completely, and he trusted her. When they finally reached a safer room, John caught his breath. The alien girl looked at him with glowing eyes, almost as if saying, "We made it." For now, he nodded. He realized that surviving together had strengthened their bond. They were not just hiding, they were fighting, planning, and protecting each other. But the danger was not over. The captors were smart, powerful, and relentless. John and the alien girl knew that soon there would be another confrontation. Yet, for the first time, John felt confident. Together, they could face whatever came next. He reached out and held her small hands gently. "We will not give up," he whispered. She nodded, her eyes shining brightly. In that moment, he knew that the bond between them was unbreakable. They had escaped once, outsmarted their enemies, and survived a dangerous night. Outside, the city was quiet, but John could feel the tension lingering in the air. The captors would return, stronger and more determined. But John and the alien girl were ready. They had survived this confrontation, and they would survive the next one too. Inside the abandoned building, they sat together, planning their next move. John knew that the final confrontation was coming, and he was prepared to face it. For the alien girl, for their bond, for survival, he would do anything. The sun was just beginning to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. John and the alien girl crouched inside the abandoned building, planning their next move. The night had been tense, full of danger and close calls, but it was far from over. The captors were still out there, determined to bring her back. John looked at her glowing eyes. "Are you ready?" he whispered. She nodded, her small hand gripping his tightly. She was calm now, confident and ready to face whatever came next. John felt a surge of determination. He had learned so much from her: patience, courage, and the meaning of trust. Suddenly, a loud hum echoed outside. The captor's ship had landed nearby. The alien girl's eyes widened, then glowed brighter. John could feel the tension in the air. It was time. There was no more hiding. They had to confront them. John and the alien girl moved quickly through the narrow alleys. Her small hands guided him, pointing to obstacles, escape routes, and places to hide. When they reached an open area, they saw the captors approaching, tall, armored figures, moving with precision and purpose. The alien girl touched her gadget. and a holographic shield appeared, shimmering in the early morning light. John felt the energy pulse around them, a protective barrier that seemed almost alive. The captors stopped, confused by the sudden illusion. It gave them just enough time to act. John whispered, "We have to distract them. Can you?" The alien girl nodded. She pointed at a nearby pile of crates and, with a small gesture, sent them tumbling across the ground. The loud crash echoed through the street, drawing the captor's attention. Using the distraction, John grabbed a small piece of debris and threw it toward another direction, creating a secondary noise. The alien girl's shield pulsed again, making them almost invisible. In the sunlight, together, they worked as a team, human and alien, combining intelligence and quick thinking. But the captors were relentless. One of them stepped forward, pointing a strange weapon. John's heart raced. He had no weapon, no chance against its power, but he had the alien girl. She touched his shoulder, her glowing eyes meeting his. In that moment, he understood her plan. With a small movement of her hands, the alien girl created a blinding flash of light. The captor staggered, shielding his eyes. John took the opportunity to lead them through a narrow alley that only she knew. They ran swiftly, avoiding open streets and cameras, using rooftops and hidden passages. After a tense chase, they reached a quiet part of the city near the river. The alien girl activated a portal-like device from her gadget. A glowing blue light formed a circle in the air. She motioned for John to step inside. He hesitated, then trusted her completely. They stepped through together, and in an instant, they were in a hidden area far from the city. John looked around, amazed. It was peaceful, quiet, and safe for now. The alien girl's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, and she gave him a small smile. John smiled back. They had survived. They had outsmarted the captors, and they were alive. Sitting together, John realized something important. The alien girl had come into his life unexpectedly, but now she was family. They had bonded through fear, courage, and trust. He had learned to see beyond appearances, to value intelligence and heart over everything else. The alien girl touched his hand again. Her small voice whispered a few words in her language, and John felt the meaning in his heart. "Thank you." He smiled, nodding. "We'll face everything together," he said. But even in the calm, a small warning remained. The captors might return, and the alien girl's home planet might soon send someone to find her. John knew their adventure was far from over, yet for the first time, he felt ready. They had survived danger, learned to trust each other, and discovered strength they didn't know they had. As the morning sun rose higher, John and the alien girl stood together by the river. The city behind them was waking up, unaware of the incredible events that had just unfolded. For John, life would never be ordinary again. For the alien girl, Earth had become a place of safety, and perhaps a new home. They looked at each other, determination shining in their eyes. Whatever challenges awaited them, they would face them together. The human and the alien bonded by trust, courage, and hope. Were ready for a new beginning. And somewhere in the sky, faint and distant, a small signal pulsed, a reminder that this was only the start of their story. Asterisk.